Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, let me take that down. We can get
All
started.
right. Well, hello, Dream Maker. It
Yeah, I
is
gotta keep visible.
Thursday.
Yeah, I gotta get trying to work on my other show. I gotta keep visible.
All right. All right. Well, it's Thursday at noon. Okay. And it is our noonday host, Georgia. And it is GA for Justice. And every week, every week, we focus on our community. And as I shared at the beginning of the year, guess what? We're focusing on principles, the principles of Kwanzaa. And of course, that keeps us balanced, it gives us a foundation. And this month, of course, is the month of May. And the principle is purpose. The fifth principle of Kwanzaa, Nia, or we can call it purpose, and that is to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Traditional greatness, traditional values, traditional principles. That's what this show is all about. And I recognize you're going to falter. And we see it all over the nation, all types of incidents going on because we haven't come together on one accord to focus on principle, to strengthen our community. So today, we're going to keep it true. We're going to talk about community commitment along with purpose. And our very special guest is Ms. Stephanie O. Furby. She is the owner of Culture by LE. As always, hey, as always, we want you to listen as we enjoy a conversation for information, a conversation for correction, and a conversation for transformation. Now, Miss Stephanie O. Furby was born in the 80s and raised in the 90s. The life of Stephanie O. Furby began on the beautiful day of May 24th in 1982 in Chesapeake, Virginia. She later moved at the age of 13 to Norfolk. She loves jazz, New Jack Swing, rap, hip hop, soul, R&B, and neo soul embodies the music of her life's soundtrack. Awesome soundtrack. In 2005, she began a 15-year career with Hampton Roads School System. Her experience includes transportation, education, owned and operated Furby 757 Inspections LLC, which is a home inspection company. And she operated that business from 2009 to 2014. As a home inspector and guest speaker, she assisted with facilitating home buyers workshops through the Virginia Department of Housing, VHDA, and the Urban League of Hampton Roads. And that's when I first met Stephanie because she was one of my special guest speakers to talk to our students as we were looking at the new first time home buyer training program. And so we used her a number of times to share her knowledge with our students. Stephanie is a mother, an educator, an entrepreneur, an orator, artist, and motivator are just a few of the words to describe Ms. Stephanie O. Furby. Her son and daughter are her inspiration for many things, especially the legacy that she is paving to enhance their future. In 2020, Ms. Furby second time. Culture by LE is a brand that is dedicated to highlighting the victorious contributions of Native African ancestry in the 757 area and beyond. Black heritage and culture is essential for family upbringing. Connecting with the true body of history is significant for self awareness. And with that being said, we want to welcome our special guest, Ms. Stephanie O. Furby.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I am very well. And that was a wonderful introduction. Thank you for having me on the show today. Hey, Captain
Don't
85
try to put
Dream
me on
Maker.
don't try to put me on the spot.
No,
Don't try to make me look bad.
but you here,
know.
so I gotta speak. Hey,
There
how
you
you
go.
doing?
There you go.
You know,
Speak it.
I know she do it her flow better than mine. I'm just a dream maker.
Speak it. Speak it. I'm so excited. Yes. I
Yes.
was looking at your website. It is awesome. So you're going to
Thank
have
you.
to share with the audience because, as I said, we got to have a commitment to community. And guess what? Talking about our African American history is a commitment. And so we want you to tell us a little bit about culture by LE.
Yeah. Definitely. As mentioned, Culture by LE, it was founded in 2020. During the season of Rona, I had the opportunity to be in the creative space that I yearned to be in for quite some time. During the coronavirus, my work was considered non-essential. And so, moving fast forward into the day and time in which we're in at this moment, the current topic is critical race theory. And as we know, they're trying to remove Black history from the school system. And, Black history is essential because our ancestors built this nation. The United States wouldn't be what it is today had it not been for the Black people, our ancestors, our enslaved ancestors, and our free ancestors that lived here on this continent, on this land before the transatlantic slave trade. Culture by E, as was mentioned, is dedicated to highlighting the victorious contributions of our ancestors. One of our ancestors, an important ancestor, James Lafayette. Had it not been for James Lafayette, the United States wouldn't exist. It was his leadership through communication which allowed the United States of America to be the free nation that it is today. And you can go on to Culture by LE, the website culturebyle.co, to read up on James Lafayette and his contributions to the United States and the world, and other ancestors from Virginia and around the world as well.
Tell us a little bit more about James A. Lafayette, because of course this show is about providing information, and not only do we want people to go to your website, but we want to tickle them a little bit with just a little bit of information so that we draw them to the website, and then they tell their friends to go to the website as well. So,
Indeed.
got to prick them a little bit.
Indeed, no doubt. Well, James Lafayette, the Honorable James Lafayette, was born in New Kent County, which is here in Virginia, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour away from Norfolk, located here in the 757, of course. He was born in the mid-1700s, and he served as a dual agent in the Revolutionary War. His loyalty was true to the American Army, the Continental Army, which was the army that represented the colonies, which before the United States became the United States of America. However, he was able to trick the British soldiers into believing that he was a runaway slave, and he was able to get in good with them, and he was able to gather information on the strategies of the British soldiers and things of that nature for when they would be headed over here to the United States. And it was his leadership through communication that led to Marquis de Lafayette to being able to aid and guide the soldiers for when the British troops would be coming over here. And because of the word of James Lafayette, the British soldiers were not able to come onto this soil of the United States past the city of Hampton University. They were blocked not Hampton University, past the city of Hampton. They were blocked and stopped right there on the soil of Hampton. Right, and it's because of our ancestor James Lafayette that this country celebrates Independence Day. Had it not been for our Black ancestor, James Lafayette. Hold on a second. And I have a shirt dedicated to our ancestors.
Okay.
Can you see the shirt? Let me get
awesome.
This
shirt. Yeah, slide it over.
Yeah,
Before James Bond, there was James Lafayette. I love that.
Yes, James Lafayette and Ellen Bond, Mary Bowser, Virginia natives, Black History 366. We can't forget about leap year, and we can talk about Miss Ellen Bond, aka Mary
Okay,
Bowser, a little later. But I definitely wanted to
fantastic.
bring clarity to James Lafayette because his contributions are monumental, and
Mhm.
he is well deserved to be celebrated, acknowledged, and honored. And that's what we do through Culture by LE. Yes,
Awesome. That is phenomenal. And see,
it is.
that's why I do this show. Okay. Again, when Henderson or Captain 85 reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want you to do a radio show." I mean, I pondered and pondered for months, probably for years.
Mhm.
He's nodding his head for years before I decided what, that I would do it, but also what I would do with the show. Because
Yes.
if I'm not committed to the community, if I'm not committed to transforming and turning things around, then why be another talking head? We got plenty of them out there already. And my position was I don't want to be a talking head. I want to truly provide real substantive information that people can take, go out, use it, but also helping their community to begin to transform things. Because
Yes.
if we don't start that, we're going to keep repeating same mistakes. And so people like you coming on, those who are they're struggling, because that's part of the problem. Their hopelessness and the struggling of people prevents them from having that purpose to move forward a lot of times. And so what we want to do today, again, purpose. We're focusing on purpose. And this is our last Thursday, the last
Okay.
Thursday in the month of May. So next month in June, guess what? We're going to be on the creativity route. So you can do two shows
Look.
because you're a creator
Yes.
and you definitely have purpose. And I'm thrilled about the
Yes.
purpose,
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so
providing the
excited.
information that we need so that we don't feel um, less than. I think our guest last week was talking about majority and minority. He said if there's a situation where folks are not getting their resources and all, then there must be folks who are getting the resources.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
want to make sure that folks who deserve the resources are getting the resources, and that's critical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit more about some of the people that you have looked up, found out, gathered information. Tell us a little more about some of the people that you've garnered history on.
Definitely, definitely. And I'd like to say that, I love the topic that we're discussing today, Nia Purpose, which is one of my favorite principles of Kwanzaa. And
Okay.
moving along, I have a calendar that I created and that I do annually. Let me
Mhm.
go back to the original calendar. This is
Okay.
the 2021 Virginia Natives calendar. Came out
Mhm.
last year and it did well. This is the 2022 Virginia Natives calendar,
Mhm.
and it's still on the website to be purchased today.
Okay.
And on the back of the calendar, I have 13 of our Virginia Natives trailblazers and pioneers. William Tucker was featured for the month of January, and William
Mhm.
Tucker is noted as the first enslaved child born in the Virginia colony in the city of Hampton. The Tucker Cemetery is located in Hampton, and it is open and available to be visited today. The property has been marked as eminent. It's been protected from eminent domain, so nobody can come through and bulldoze and build anything on top of it. It's a permanent fixture here, and I like to call it a treasure because, as Black people,
Mhm.
and, as a native of the ancestors, it's always a wonderful thing to be able to go back and revisit something that's, commemorative of us, our heritage, and our history. Um,
Absolutely.
for the month of February, I
Mhm.
have Elizabeth Key Grinstead highlighted and featured on the calendar. And, her contribution to our nation is monumental. She inspired a lot of people. She was born during the mid 1600s, during the era of indentured servitude here in the United States. And when we look back into that era, our ancestors were not obligated to the bondage of slavery, but some of our ancestors were placed into the bondage of servitude, and they had the opportunity to, work off a debt over a certain amount of time, and and live the life of freedom that was here in the United States during that time. But however, her father was a indentured servant, was a white planter from England, and her mother was an enslaved woman. And her father did notate that by the age of 15 he would like for her to enjoy a life of freedom. But the tradesman that she was the tradesman that she was indebted to, once he passed away, he didn't grant her the freedom that her father
wanted for her.
awarded for. And so she went through the court, and she fought for her freedom. And the first time she didn't win. Her husband was a white guy by the name of William, who was an indentured servant. And upon her tradesman passing away, her boyfriend at the time, William, was allotted his freedom, but he wasn't. But he became a lawyer, and he fought for her. So when she went to the Virginia Assembly and petitioned for her freedom, her past testament was reviewed, and she was granted her freedom. And during this time, during the 1600s, I say 1665, 1667, around that time, that's when the black codes and slave laws came into place, which made it hard for our ancestors. And the black codes and slave laws allotted for black people to be born in the servitude of slavery if the mother was a slave. And so also manumission laws and things of that nature came into place in the mid 1700s, which caused a lot of animosity and things of that nature towards black people, because black people were given incentives to drop a dime on another black person. And so when we look at the history of this country, as I say, all things Val in this country goes back to slavery, because when we look at the matriculation of the way that we live as black people, it goes back to the jurisdiction and of the way of life that our ancestors lived. And so what we have to do is address those things, because each time we're dealing with something as it pertains to a George Floyd situation, and as we move forward to what happened a couple of weeks ago in Buffalo, each time our ancestors are slaughtered, each time our ancestors are attacked by a white person, there's a trickle-down effect of the PTSD that we deal with, even though we're not directly connected to, what our ancestors bear, we still feel it. And so, those are some things that we need to deal with. Also, reparations. As we look back into the history of a couple of years ago, all of these laws of protections came into place for Asians, Pacific Islanders, Indians, and things of that nature. But our ancestors built this country, and the white people who had slaves got reparations, and our ancestors never got the 40 acres and a mule that they were guaranteed, that they were allotted.
And that is critical.
And so it is critical. And when we look at our life now, we're naked out here in this country as black people. Yes, we're strong. The indomitable spirit of our ancestors are in us, and it permeates through us. But walking out here, let me say this. The hypothesis, if the hypothesis is known for what happens to a black person, if a black person do this, then that will happen. That is, I'm about to cuss. That is unreal. You know what I'm saying? For everybody to know that, and for that to be a living policy for black people, it's an issue. We don't have the rights and protections that we deserve. And so our fight is continuous. And so that's why Through Culture by LE is vital. It's essential. It's important for the work, the contributions, and all of the things that our ancestors did to be acknowledged, to be honored, to be celebrated, because we come from a strong body of people, and that should never be forgotten.
Right. And we definitely need people like yourself bringing this to the forefront so that people know what is going on and know the history. Because without your origin, and we find that with all different cultures, they know their origin. They can
Mhm.
tell you that they are of this descent or that descent or whatever. We can't take, we don't have the ability in many instances to go back to the continent of Africa and say we're actually from Ghana, or we're from Nigeria, or we're from, Ethiopia, or wherever. We're not able to do that. And so what you're sharing can assist others in learning more about themselves, but in learning that there's a lot that we've contributed, a tremendous amount of work and information that we've contributed that allows this nation to be stronger
Mhm.
with us than they were without us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And as we know, the hot topic this week is the ice cream that Walmart is selling. Had the audacity to put
Mhm.
great value. I mean, an imitation brand on some ice cream, on some flavors that's already out there that, one of our sisters is already selling. And that's atrocious. That is very atrocious. And
Mhm.
speaking of ice cream, one of our Virginia natives by the name of Alfred Crail, he invented the ice cream scoop. So for now on,
Mhm.
when you think of ice cream, think of the black
Mhm.
man that invented the ice cream scoop for you to be able
Right.
to put that ice cream in your mouth and indulge and enjoy it.
Right.
Alfred Crail, a Virginia native. Yeah.
Right. Right,
Mhm.
exactly. Well, I'm telling you, we got some listeners up here. We have Alicia
Yay.
Phillips. Alicia is said she
Yes.
definitely feel it, and that's why she wrote her novel about police
Yes.
brutality.
Hmm.
And she is so sad how they continue to treat us or mistreat us, and are still mistreating us. So she just wanted you to know that she's listening. I know Roderick Barnes, he's out there listening, and
Yes.
they wanted to know, do we recognize that Black Africans are the original men and original women? And so he wants us to make sure that we get that information out, because over time, as we were uh, transported from place to place, our skin began to get lighter, our languages began to change. And so with the original people that we are, a
Hmm.
combination of so many. And we got Teresa Riddick up here, and she's saying hello to us this morning, this afternoon. So guess what? You got some listeners out there because they like what you have to share, and I'm enjoying what you have to share. So keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you so
This
much. That's what's up.
information to
Yes.
strengthen all of us, because it's like anything else, even when you read the scripture, your body is not as good without your eye. It's not as good. It's not as good without your foot or without a hand. And so all these body parts, all of these different people, without one another, we suffer. So it's important that we cherish and respect those who have come before us, but that we continue to promote those who are here now, those who came before us, but just let people know that this is not something that we're going to just do one time and it's over. It's a continuous process. It's a
Yes.
continuous educational process. And inside of that, there's a constant continual correction process. We look at our schools, like you were sharing about critical race theory. Um, they simply box it in instead of telling you the truth behind critical race theory, that is not taught in our school system. But history, accurate history, should be taught better in our school system, and they're not doing that either. You know.
Hmm. Yes.
Mhm.
Um, I've always been a firm believer in education begins at home. And
Mhm.
so, with the conversations about our ancestors, yes, we should be having those conversations in
Mhm.
our homes. And, I, of course, have the conversations with my children, and those that know me know I go in. And
Mhm.
speaking of the conversation and going back to the calendar, uh,
Right.
for the month of May, which is my birthday month, I'm
All
still in
right.
celebratory mode because my birthday was a couple of days ago and
The
I'm 40 and
24th.
fabulous. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. And also featured on my calendar for the month of May is one of my favorite people, Mr. Nat Turner. And
Okay.
so I'm going to go ahead to my calendar for the month of May.
Yes.
And if you can see, because I know that the camera
Yes,
may
I
or
can
may not
see.
be as
Uh-huh.
clear, but I have pictures and things of that nature
Yes.
of each person that I have featured by the month. And as I mentioned, one of my favorite people, Nat Turner,
Mhm.
is featured for the month of May. And I also have some written information about his life, the
Mhm.
person that he was, and his contribution to the United States.
Mhm.
Also, for the dates of the month, I have other Black people and revolutionaries featured for the birth date of their month. And I
Okay.
also have holidays and
Mhm.
all other things that pertains to, things that we need to know about on a calendar. And, it is a cultural calendar. So, I made sure to highlight all of the Black holidays, such as
Mhm.
Juneteenth, Memorial Day,
Mhm.
Veterans Day, and
Mhm.
other things that we celebrate throughout the year. Kwanzaa, of course, and we're talking
Yes.
about the principles of Kwanzaa. So, yes,
Absolutely.
it's very educational for those who have a passion or interest in Black history. There's a lot going on and a lot for you to be able to, gravitate to.
Mhm.
You can Google the people that you're familiar with and not familiar with. And I like to look at the things that I create as a gift that continues to give
Yeah.
because it's not a
Mhm.
one time thing. You're
Mhm.
always able to learn, grow, become inspired and
Mhm.
empowered by the things that I create through Culture by LE.
And I noticed that Captain 85 is showing your calendar
Yes,
right now. So he already has a calendar from you. And
yes,
I like the fact that you were saying that each month, any information that can be documented, you have it on the calendar.
hmm,
People, um, whether it's their birth or the day of their death, you have it on the calendar so that people are able to go, uh, gravitate to that information and then click and look further, because you don't want them to just have the calendar on the wall and then see it, but don't see it. You want them
right.
to have it, see it, and take action. Okay.
Yes,
Meaning,
yes,
I want you to read about them. I don't want to just have the calendar and you're looking at it. I want
right.
you to have the calendar and you're reading about it. You're educating yourself,
Yes. And I
your
also,
neighbors, and you're educating other relatives as well. And that's how you build a stronger community. And that's what Kwanzaa is all about. And that's why I decided at the beginning of the year that Kwanzaa was not a 1 week event. Kwanzaa is an everyday event. Those
it is.
principles that we stand on are operational all year long. And if we ever want to be stronger, if we ever want to reduce the negativity, when you have a solid principle to stand on, you push back against the negativity. Your children don't want to be involved in the negativity. And so we need to do everything in our power, uh, whatever resources that we have available. In my case, I have this radio show once a week that Captain 85 has given me the privilege of opening up the airwaves so that this can be used for a positive purpose and not for negativity, and not to tell people of every negative thing that has happened because they get that on their. Why repeat what's already being repeated to folks every day? And that's why I love this show, and I love my guests. I have
Yes.
I had Alton Robinson from Norfolk last week. I had Kezia a couple of weeks before that.
Yes.
And she's also, a Norfolk person. So we don't just select people in Virginia Beach, although I'm from Virginia Beach, was raised here, was not born here, but was raised here. And so I've pretty much lived in Virginia Beach all my life. And just like with any city, there are good things and not so good things. And the goal is where there are shortcomings, I don't have to run away. I just have to try to do the things that are necessary to change those shortcomings and build it into something. And that's where I think sometimes, we kind of get, I'm not going to live in that city. We have Virginia Beach people saying, I'm not going to live in Norfolk. Something is wrong with Norfolk. And my thing is, don't put anything down. Build wherever there's a shortcoming, look for an opportunity to build it up and
Yes.
make it into what you like to see versus constantly downing, demeaning, because that's been done for years. And if we look around, we look from left to right, it hasn't worked. So here we are in 2022. We just might want to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alicia. Hey, that's what's up. I believe that the different thing that we have to do is really work together. In the
Absolutely.
past, when trying to work together, we are aware of the things that have been put in place to sabotage the work.
Mhm.
When we look at our communities like in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Mhm.
Black Wall Street, when we look at the existence of the Pullman Porters, when we look at the Black Panther Party, we are aware of the infiltrations that has
Mhm.
happened, with those organizations through us. And that goes back
Mhm.
again to the manumission laws that were in place, for our people to receive incentives for dropping a dime or putting another one of us down. But
Mhm.
we have to get to the point where we are able to focus on the work, where we are able to focus on the purpose and put aside all of the other petty stuff, put aside the drama and put aside the ego, because
Mhm.
we know we have history to tell us what could happen when we come together. But when we
Absolutely.
really come together on the force of the work, there's
Mhm.
nothing that can stop us. And
Absolutely.
so with that being said, we have to keep that in mind in doing what it is that we have to do in order
Mhm.
for the true unity to
Absolutely.
be existent.
Mhm. And that again, that is why I so enjoy the principle of Kwanzaa, umoja, unity, to pull
Mm-hmm.
the community together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we move on to Kujichagulia, self-determination. Don't be discouraged. Just keep
Yes.
focused and keep being determined. And those things that sometimes the hiccups that you run into, it's a hiccup. It's not
Mm-hmm.
permanent. And so look at it from a standpoint as a temporary setback, but not a permanent, you know, but it's not permanent. And so this is the type of stuff. And that's why I truly enjoy the seven principle of Kwanzaa. Ujima, you know, um, what is it? Collective work and responsibility. Stop
Yes.
feeling like you got to do it all yourself. You
Yes.
don't. You don't have to do it all by yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
have a family, you have a community. And when you pull together as a community and you don't keep trying to do everything all by yourself, guess what? Things can get better.
Yes.
And then we go on to Udama. Okay.
Yes. Collective work and
Cooperative
responsibility.
economics. Yeah, cooperative
Cooperative
economics.
economics.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, if you have a business and someone else has a business, learn how to support, learn how to work together to make that business stronger. I believe in the type of networking where perhaps your business, which is mostly internet based business, could be something that can work along with someone else who may have a storefront business, so that
Mm-hmm.
now you're both winning. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yes.
and that's just about cooperative economics. It's a process, and all of these things come along with the process. And the more we follow a process, a structure, and we keep doing it again and again, it becomes foundational.
Yes.
It becomes normal. It becomes natural. It becomes automatic. And
Yes.
those are the things that I'm hoping that this radio show will help people, especially our young people, because they can take something and take it to the next level and the next level and the next level. Those in my age group, I'm just a teeny bit older than you are.
Well, you know what? Look, I want to be like you when I grow up.
I'm just a teeny weeny bit, even though both of my children are older than you are. I'm just a teeny weeny bit.
Okay. Hey.
But then, you come on and you get to need a purpose. That to me, when you have a purpose, when you stick to that purpose, and believe it or not, that was my devotion. Well, no, my devotion was focus. So focus on that purpose. This morning when I got up and I was reading, and it was like, focus, and that's the other thing that we have to do. Yes, we must have a purpose, but guess what? If all we have is a purpose, and we never focus on that purpose, we never work on that purpose, we never do anything to move that forward.
Look, this is what I say. Faith without work is dead.
Exactly.
You got a purpose and it's just sitting there. What is it doing? Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that is why I so enjoy, having people like you on the air to talk to persons about the type of work that you're doing, and share a little bit more about Culture by LE. Let them know how people can go and buy and purchase your products, the type of products you have. Share that with the listening audience so that, and share your website. Talk to them about the website.
Yes, definitely. Well, the website is at culturebyle.co. That is culturebyle.co. I didn't want com because I wanted something different.
Okay.
Culture.le is representative of us, of Black people, our ancestry, the contributions, Black empowerment. I have a souvenir shop online where you can purchase unique and eclectic gifts and souvenirs. One souvenir that I have, this is the 757 hat. This is the hat that I've been wearing, and it's broken in, but it's representative of all of the cities of the 757, not just the 7 cities. You see the Eastern Shore here, Southampton County, a little farther out, Isle of Wight, and of course the 7 cities, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Newport News, Hampton, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, and I believe that I missed one.
Don't leave out P-Town.
Can't leave out P-Town, and I can't forget Chesapeake. That's where I was born.
Do not leave out P-Town.
Right, no, P-Town definitely is in the house. Hey, that's what's up.
Captain 85 is from P-Town, so we will be in
P-Town, that's what's up, P-Town.
Look, the radio show will end today.
Get ready to go.
It will end today if we leave out P-Town. So we want to keep operating, right?
Indeed. And look, I also have the 757 shirt, which is available now online. And again, is representative of the 757 and the 7 cities. Virginia, we have a lot of people that have come, before this time and era that have definitely made waves that are from Virginia. But Virginia hasn't been on the map. I mean, what do we have that's representative of us? I've noticed Virginia T-shirts and things of that nature, Virginia hats. But, another reason why I create the things that I do is because, I believe in taking the 757 wherever you go. You can do that through the hat and, the clothing that I make, and the calendar and everything else that I create, they're conversational pieces so that you can talk about where you're from. Everybody has a memory associated with an experience from the 757, whether it's from, Portsmouth, whether it's from Norfolk, Chesapeake, you know, the peninsula, the South Side, you know,
Right.
this is us right here. This is representative and commemorative of the 757, which makes this a souvenir.
Right.
And so also, you know, when people come here from the area, they create memories. So they can take the souvenirs, the hats, the t-shirts, and things of that nature with them and tell them about the times and experiences that they've had in the area. And, you know, possibly they'll encourage other people to come to the area. There's more to the Virginia area than the ocean front.
Absolutely.
We have Black
Absolutely.
history, and we have ancestors that have definitely contributed to the land that we have here. And I remember you speaking earlier about the native land. Some of us may never go back to the native land. Some of us may not have an interest in traveling to the native land, or, you know, some of us may not be able to trace our steps back to the native land. But if you have an ancestor that was born here, we have enough of the history that can trace back centuries of the work and things of that nature that have been done. And so, you know, something that I also pride myself in doing through Culture by LE is being able to pinpoint where you're from. If you can't connect yourself back to the native land, you can connect yourself to an ancestor here that did something on this soil. Because again, Black people built this country. If it wasn't for the Black people, the United States wouldn't be the United States. And it's time for the Black people to get the credit, the recognition, and the honor that they deserve, that we deserve, because we built this country. We built this. Yes,
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question or two. What have you found as the greatest benefit from being a business owner? Because I want young people, especially young people, and some of our seniors like myself, we probably need to go back and decide that, you know what, I'm not too old to start a business, you know, because sometimes we box ourselves in. So tell me what you have found to be your greatest benefit from being a business owner.
The greatest benefit is being able to just dwell in what I love to do.
Is what?
You know, dwell in what I love to do. You know, I have to say this. I'm not surprised with what I do, but it's not in my plans. This is not what I envisioned myself doing. But, you know, I love what I do, and I'm glad that I'm doing it. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, one of the goals that I have as an entrepreneur is being able to live my life and being able to operate on my own time. You know, it's very fulfilling to be in your own lane. It's an adjustment. It's definitely adjustment, and there are a lot of challenges that come with it. But to anybody who's thinking about starting a business, don't let the challenges of being self-employed discourage you. You know, as a company that you work for, you know, that person had a vision. And along with that vision came people who believe in the vision to support the vision. And because there was support with the vision, you know, the vision gained resources, and also the vision gained money for people to be able to work for the company. What I'm doing is building an empire. And, you know, there are a lot of sacrifices that have to be made, you know, a lot of sacrifices with time, a lot of sacrifices with money, a lot of sacrifices with resources. There's a lot that goes into this, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of time. And so, you know, if you have the opportunity to explore, if you have the gut feeling to be self-employed, you know, I'll say play around with it, figure out what it is that you want to do. And what I did this time around, because this is my second time around with being self-employed, I gave myself permission to be patient with this. I gave myself permission to allow the process to happen. There are moments when I don't know what's coming around the corner. There are moments when I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm standing on my faith. And my faith has not served me wrong, and my intuition has not guided me in the wrong direction. And I know that what I'm doing is necessary, it's essential, and I'm proud to be the one that's been selected to do it. You know, I know from this there will be others. And, you know, I welcome it because, you know, there's a lot of turf and territory to be covered.
Mhm.
I can't do it all, but
Right.
with what I've been assigned to do, I'm very appreciative and I love it.
Mhm.
Yes.
A lot of times you'll hear people start a business and they feel like they're competing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
While many other cultures will start any number of businesses, but they don't look at it as competition with each other. They
Right.
focus on the benefits that they are providing. Have you run into situations where people felt like you were their competitor versus a collaborator? Whereas, and what I mean by that is you may have similar business, but you also have different business styles. You also probably have some different product lines. So while you may not refer them to a particular product line you have, you may be able to refer some of your customer base to a product line that they have that you don't have. So have you run into any of that as a business owner where you're
Oh,
trying to
yes.
help people to understand that you're not competing with one another?
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yes, I have run into that, and it's unfortunate and it's
mhm,
sad that, you know, some people feel the need to compete because there
mhm.
is no competition.
Right.
You know, when your focus is getting the work done,
Mhm.
you know, and if that's the goal, then there is no need to compete because, as mentioned before, you know, all parts of the body come together for the better good. You know,
Absolutely.
if I'm the foot, I know my strengths of being the foot. And I
Mhm.
know that a strength of being the foot is I don't operate as the hand. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But as the foot, if the foot is able to work with the hand, then we can do some marvelous things together. You
Mhm.
know, and you know, if you know people feel the need to be competitive, they can be competitive over there. But I know I'm gonna get to where I need to go because I'm focused and I'm purpose driven. And
Mhm.
when you're purpose driven, you don't have time for competition because the
Absolutely.
lanes that you're in, the lanes that you create, you know, when they come together with other lanes, and if the other lanes are with it, you know, we can just roll. But I'm still gonna roll regardless.
Right.
And that's what it is.
And I like the way you put that because um, I don't seem to see funerals homes having competition because I mean I've clicked on funeral homes all the time and guess what? All of them got bodies. I have
That's
yet to
real though.
see
That's
a
real.
funeral home that does not have a body. So I'm sitting
Right.
here, I'm going, there's a whole lot of people that's leaving this earth, and one funeral home cannot take care of all of those
That's really
people.
real though.
So
Yes.
you see what I'm saying? So people to understand that they don't have to compete with each other. They just have to be good at what they do and then
Yes.
keep bettering their best so that there's a reason why I shop with you and there's a reason why I go over here and I shop with them because you all have different things and different types of personality, different styles and all that allows me to not only do business with you, but do business with others too. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm hoping that this today's show will help people to get out of their mind, if they're a business owner, that they're competing with each other. You're not. There's
Right.
plenty of people, and ask any funeral home or check online. Okay. They always got some business. All right.
Right. Right.
I literally go. It
Right.
just sounds crazy, but I literally, I wake up one day and I'll just decide, let me just check, and sometimes I do find people that I did not realize passed away that I do actually know,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of people never heard of them a day in my life. They're gone and the funeral home business is operating. Okay.
Yes.
It's
Mm-hmm.
operating. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that will kind of help people a little bit so they don't feel like they always have to have that they should be working on how can they be their best self. And,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
I always used to say, I always compete with myself. I never have to
Yes.
compete with anybody
Oh,
else. I always compete with myself. And as long as
yes.
I compete with myself, then I can always improve on me. So my
Yes.
competition is, where am I today? Okay, can I get that to be a little bit better tomorrow? So maybe that'll help those folks out there who feel like have to compete with each other. Compete with yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Set
Oh,
goals. Set
yes.
goals with yourself,
Hmm.
set expectations with yourself, and not just on how much you can sell, but also how good are you at what you do and what you
Yes,
sell? How good are
indeed.
you at being great at customer service? Is your personality the right personality so that people come to you once, tell their friends, and come back again and again? So those are
Hmm.
the type of things that I think that people need to look at. How good are you at what you do?
Yes. You saying that was
With
like a
love.
breath of fresh air, and that was needed with love and gratitude. Yes. Yes. You serve that.
Mhm. Well, we're coming to a close. We're coming to a close.
Already? Wow.
Yes.
That
So
went
what
by
I want you to
fast.
do is I want you to again announce your website.
Yeah.
I want you again to tell people about the business that you do. Compete
Yes,
with you.
indeed. Yes, indeed. No doubt.
Okay. So this is
Yes.
our purpose. Today we have again, I want to announce her one more time, Miss Stephanie O. Farabee with Culture by LE. Is it right?
Yes.
Culture by
Culture.
LE. So
Yes.
if you don't know her, get to know her, check out her website, and she's going to close this. I'm going to let her have her final words, and then I'll close this out. All right.
Well, thanks again for having me on the show. I'm Stephanie O. Furby, founder of Culture by LE, where we proudly honor Virginia's Black ancestral legacy and heritage. You can find lots of content on our website at culturebyle.co. That is culturebyle.co. Check out our blogs, check out the online souvenir shop where you can purchase unique and eclectic gifts. The gifts that I create continue to give. We have calendars. We have hats that are representative of the 757. I call this the 757 hat. And also we have t-shirts that
Mhm.
honor our ancestors, James Lafayette, Ellen Bond, aka Mary Bowser, and we also have a t-shirt that's representative of the 757. Yes, definitely. Check out the website. You'll find lots of things for your reading pleasure. And the purpose of Culture by LE, of course, is to honor Virginia's Black ancestral legacy and heritage, and also to esteem Black owned businesses, to add value, because our culture is constantly misappropriated. And it's unfortunate, it's unfair that
Mhm.
other people can take our culture and ring in the money, get the riches off of it. But when we do it, people look like, what? Oh, that's too much. That's expensive. But, if we don't do it, why should anybody else be able to do it?
And
Um,
benefit.
the
Mhm.
benefits,
And
yes.
benefit from the knowledge, the creativity, which is next month. Is creativity is the Kwanzaa principle.
Kaumba
Yes,
creativity. Yes.
exactly.
I believe that Kwanzaa is a way of life. The
Right.
7 principles of Kwanzaa don't have to be practiced at the end of the year, December the 25th through January the 1st. You can practice Kwanzaa once a month. There are 7 principles, 7 days. You can pick a whole week out of the month. It could be the
Right.
first week or the last week to practice
Mhm.
those 7 principles. But
Absolutely.
yes, Culture by LE is all about Black culture. So again, when you
Mhm.
have time, feel free to check out the website at culturebyle.co. You can also connect with Culture by LE on our social media platforms. Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and I have a Facebook business page and a Facebook friends page for Culture by LE.
Mhm.
I have an Instagram for Culture by LE, and I have a few new videos that I added on TikTok.
Mhm.
Don't forget YouTube. We're also on YouTube. So connect with Culture by LE, become inspired and empowered. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Stephanie, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to reconnect because it's been several years when we worked together at the NAACP office, and you came in and you did the home inspection segment of the home buyers program, and now you're out here with your new business. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited about your business, and I'm excited about sharing your information with our listening audience. Again, this is Georgia Allen, GA for Justice. And we want to say goodbye to our guests and wish her well. Please check out her website, buy her products, support her business, and make sure that you recognize that we can still work together. We can still work in similar businesses, but don't have to compete with each other. Again, it's GA for Justice every week, same time, same network,
Same station.
an hour. And today was community commitment. And if you didn't know it, now you know it. Thank you.
Once again, you've been watching GA for Justice with the host, Georgia Allen, the former president of the NAACP in Virginia Beach, and with Culture by LE, Stephanie. And that's her website, the link right there on the screen.
Yes!
There it is, culturebyLE.com. Yay!
Yeah, meet the owner.
All right.
Well, until the next time we meet, till the next time we greet. But before I go, don't forget to join me at 3 until 6 o'clock on WVDM Radio. I'll be broadcasting live. You'll see the link on Facebook or Messenger or just somewhere out there. But until then, thank y'all for chiming in.
Next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.